I remember that moment and I'm just like, I never want to deal with this ever again.
Today, we're joined by global pop star Ava Max. From growing up in a first-generation immigrant household to topping charts in over 20 countries with hits like Sweet But Psycho and Kings and Queens, Ava's music has been streamed over 70 billion times.
Every day I fight for my career. I want to do this on my own, but that's where I got in trouble because I didn't have anyone there to protect me in those rooms. Hi, I'm Ava Max and welcome to The Burnouts.
Ava Max, welcome to The Burnouts. You convinced your family to move to LA twice, all these incredible chance encounters. Tell us about your beginnings.
My parents are super supportive. They're 100% Albanian, but I was born in the States. My brother was also born in Albania.
And then how did you convince them to go to LA with you?
There was not much convincing. I mean, my mom was always so supportive. She's such a firecracker. I get my boldness from her and her strength. She's just like not afraid to start over. I was 14 and she took me out of 8th grade, didn't even let me graduate. She's like, we're homeschooling you. She's like, we're going to LA. There's nothing left for you in Virginia. And if you want to sing, we got to start now. I'm like, okay. I'm like, that's great. And I had been doing so many singing competitions in Florida because we'd been driving down to Florida. That started with all that. And I just love to perform. I'm always behind the curtain. I was so nervous. But anytime right when I hit the stage, it felt like I grew wings. So I knew it was what I was meant to do.
You guys ended up leaving LA once, right? And then going back. Can you walk me through that?
Yeah. So we stayed in LA for the first time when I was 14, right? For a year. No one wanted to sign a 14-year-old girl because, what are you going to do, right? What am I going to do? Go on tour by myself? No. So they're like, come back when you're 18. And that's what we did. But we ended up in South Carolina. South Kakalaki is what I used to call it. So for 2 years, which was really fun. Although at the time, I didn't love it as much because I had to make new friends and it was high school time. So it was very difficult. Those years were really hard for me, 16, 15, really hard for me. Yeah, but I learned to stand up for myself, which is very important, I think, for when you get older, because you got to do that in your career. I'm fighting to this day. Every day I fight for my career. And I think that's what a lot of people don't know about me. They're just like, oh, she just got handed everything. She's an industry plant. That's what I read online. And I'm just like, that couldn't be farthest from the truth.
So you moved to LA again, and tell us about those early days of trying to meet the right people in the industry. What did that look like?
I mean, I'll start at 17 when I came back to LA. It was tough. I couldn't meet anyone really. It was just friend of a friend of a friend that would maybe hook me up for a studio session, but then I wouldn't get my drives back. And it was really hard being a female actually in the industry growing up because, you get hit on and it's just really uncomfortable. And then I would just be staying in the studio for as long as I could to finish the record. But then I felt uncomfortable. So I left. So I couldn't stay for too long. So it was just it was back and forth a lot. And I didn't feel like I could really grow when I got here until I met some collaborators and then I got signed and then I got really lucky to find my tribe at the time. And that's when I started really becoming me, Ava Max. That's when I started becoming the version of me that I feel like I was always looking for growing up. But I'm always evolving. So everyone's always evolving. It's not always just okay, end. Period, you're done. It's I feel like I'm constantly growing and learning.
And how long was it the second time you moved to LA until you get signed?
I got signed at 22. So yeah, about 5 years, which felt like forever.
Yeah, I could imagine, especially if you're hustling, you're dealing with sexual harassment, and that's really intense. I imagine that a lot of the friends that you have from that period of time are still people you're super close with.
Oh yeah, I have a girlfriend. She's my best friend of 12 years. I met her outside of Sephora. My fans know her, Tasha. We love her. She's my bestie. She's like a sister. But she saved me from a lot of situations. I was locked in a room by a producer when I was 20 years old, and he called my tears crocodile tears. I don't think I've ever said that to anyone in public. I remember that moment, and I'm just I never want to deal with this ever again. And I kind of got into a little hermit mode. and got really sad that year, I remember. And then I started meeting the right people a year later. But I almost quit at 20 for sure.
Do you think it's systemic, this kind of abuse of talent within LA, or do you think it's more that these were experiences where you, like, particularly there was a predator who took advantage because you were young?
I think it's gotten better, but I don't know. I don't know for sure, but it seems like it's gotten better. But when I was trying to make it, it was really hard. It was really hard to make music with people because they all wanted to either sleep with me or just, yeah, either sleep with me or just like do bad things. And I just felt uncomfortable. I mean, imagine being a teenage girl in LA, going around alone, trying to meet people. I mean, not everyone's going to be nice.
Walk me through your signing your first record deal. What does that look like? Who helped you read that first contract?
Oh, yeah. For my record label, I ended up with a really great lawyer at the time. Before that, I didn't have any lawyers, obviously, so I didn't really know. I mean, I got lucky. I'm going to say I got lucky with everyone I've been working with because they really helped me and saved me from a bad time when I was younger.
And you moved to LA with your brother, right? Was he acting as your manager? How did he feel about everything?
It was my whole family, not just my brother. And he really helped me connect with the right people after some bad trials on my own because I'm such like an independent person. I just don't want anyone to help me. And that including my brother. I'm just like, I want to meet the people on my own. I want to feel like, I want to do this on my own. But that's where I got in trouble, because I didn't have anyone there to protect me in those rooms. So then I just started getting even closer with my family, which was the best thing I could do.
And tell us about the process. What led to you being signed? Was there a breakout moment or a single that you think really helped to put that in place?
I started putting songs on SoundCloud, and that's how I got noticed. So Atlantic Records took notice, and Mike Caren, APG took notice. And so we kind of did like a joint deal at the time. And Sweet But Psycho was born after that. And it took about a year for it to be released. But
before Sweet But Psycho blew up, how many demos or songs had you written or recorded?
Hundreds. I mean, I was in the studio twice, 2 different studio sessions every single day. I was in a boot camp, I like to say.
Oh.
I was in a complete boot camp for a year and a half almost before Sweet But Psycho came out, actually. And I was working my butt off. I remember I was so tired. I would spend nights crying because I was just like, I don't know, like I'm making so much different music. I don't know like what the right lane is. I was losing my mind. I mean, some people at the label were saying they liked some songs and then they weren't like agreeing some other people. And so I was just like, I don't even like this. I want to do this type of music, but then they didn't like the type of music I wanted to do. So it was very confusing and it was a really hard time as well. And then I cut my hair. I made it into the max cut. And I remember walking into a party and everybody was just like,
whoa,
who's that girl? And that's when I remember the head of my publishing company was like looking at me kind of like almost like, hey, I think you're ready now. You created also not only a great record, Sweet But Psycho, but an identity now that I could see you in a crowd room full of people.
And when Sweet But Psycho starts climbing the charts, was there ever a moment internally where you were like, wow, my life has changed now?
Oh yeah. Being in Europe for the first time, I had never been out of the US and it was just such a whirlwind and was going #1 in so many different Nordic countries and then London and then every other country, Australia and Asia. And it took the world by storm. And I was just like, this is everything I've ever dreamt about, but it almost feels like I'm dreaming still, because it doesn't feel real. It happened so fast. And here's a story I haven't told anyone, actually. I can't believe I'm saying this. I hemorrhaged my vocal cords. They exploded the day before I was supposed to travel to Europe for a promo tour for Sweet But Psycho. While Sweet But Psycho was #1 all over the world, my vocal cords exploded. And the label didn't know. No one knew. I told them I had strep throat, the flu, anything to get out of this or give me 2 more weeks to go to Europe. So for 2 weeks, I slept like 14 hours a day. I had like barely any food. And I went back to the doctor a week and a half later. And the doctor is like, I've never seen a miracle like this, but your vocal cords just grew back, brand new, but baby vocal cords. And he's like, you have to be so careful because they can explode again. And I was going on a promo tour, gonna promote and sing Sweet But Psycho all over the world. So the first year singing Sweet But Psycho, I look back at the videos and it's just like me learning how to sing again with new vocal cords. And no one knows this.
Oh my God, that's crazy. And was there anything else on the tour that you had to deal with?
It was very difficult. I mean, I was terrified every time I opened my mouth to sing. I was so scared. I was having PTSD. I was having like, oh my God, am I gonna not be able to sing again? Because I mean, I couldn't even make one sound for a week. I don't even know how they grew back.
It's like you're sacrificing all of yourself for this tour.
For this moment, and then just no vocal cords. I mean, it was such a nightmare at the time. I almost couldn't believe it. My family, everybody, we were all crying in the room. We were like, this is insane.
Girl, someone gave you the evil eye. That is crazy.
That's interesting. You said that. I wear a little.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
I always joke. I'm like, you know, I have so many people who love me, but I also have some people who, you know, probably don't wish well upon me, because things like that, I feel like, don't just happen. It's an energy. I feel like we're made up of energy, and I think we need to protect our energy. And I've gotten really good at that now.
And I want to walk back to when you made this decision to cut your hair into your iconic signature style, and also the process behind changing your stage name to Ava Max. What did this rebrand look like?
I mean, it felt like me. I always, growing up, want my cake and I want to have it and eat it too, right? So I feel like the haircut really resembles my personality. I love duality. I love having it all. You know, I believe everybody can have it all. I don't think you have to compromise in life. We live one life, and I think we need to live it to its fullest. And I also think that's why I made it in music, because I'm never giving up. I'm consistent, and as much as I've been knocked down, I get back up. I don't think people remember your losses. They remember your wins. I think that's something to remember when you're not doing good, or anyone not doing too well in their career. You're going to get back up. You just got to keep going. As cheesy as that sounds.
Pop is always changing. How do you decide when to adapt to the trends or to try to start your own trend?
To be honest, I really don't care about trends. As crazy as that sounds. Is that horrible?
No, that's good.
I don't care about trends. Maybe I should. Maybe I should not have the max cut, right? But in reality, you know, I'm just gonna do it anyways.
I fucking love it. Yeah, no, literally, fuck it. Who
literally,
cares?
fuck it. Hashtag fuck it. All your fuck it.
Wait, and the other thing I was curious about is I had seen a lot of articles of people comparing you to other artists and things like that.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Okay.
Yeah, like
I'm obviously Ava. And I'm not AI.
100%.
What the fuck?
Like, how do you deal with stuff like that?
I think it's weird. I'm just like, why do people still compare in 2025? Like, it's so dumb. And they compare women mostly, which I know a lot of people have talked about this, but it's true. I don't remember the last time they compared a guy.
True.
Okay? Should I have been born with balls or something? Oh my God. My South Carolina accent likes to come out sometimes. Okay, back to me.
I want to also understand, what does the process behind making a hit single look like? I know nothing about music, so how do you come up with it? How do you record it?
Every song is different. Some songs can get done in like 2 hours. Like Lovin' Myself, I wrote that in like 2 hours. Sweet But Psycho took a few months of rewriting and rewriting. Kings and Queens took almost a year of rewrites. I mean, we've had so many versions of Kings and Queens. And then the last version, everybody was like, damn, this sounds like a hit. Sounds insane. I can't stop replaying this. It makes me feel so good. And we're like, that's it. So, you know, it's like a feeling you get. And I love making pop music. I feel like I'm just like constantly like tweaking the vocals up until the very few days before it's released. I'm insane about that stuff.
How did you figure out what your signature sound was?
I think around Not Your Barbie Girl, right before Sweet But Psycho, I was like, wow, I love this punchy feeling. I love female empowerment. I love standing up for myself, and I love how it makes my friends feel. I like how it makes me feel. And I knew female empowerment was a very important message I wanted to give out with my music. And then it started becoming a theme because, and it was so natural because I come from a very strong woman, my mom and her mom and my dad's mom, and I feel like I was raised by strong women, so it was very easy for me to write about being strong and sticking up for yourself.
You write your own songs, right? So how do you come up with the original inspiration, and then what's the process of writing like?
I work with a ton of collaborators, different producers, different songwriters, and especially for this album, I got in the studio with a lot of new people, which was very hard for me. I was so emotional in the beginning because I was working with a few collaborators that were like, essentially they were my tribe, right? So like they were with me through the beginning until the end of the second album. And then all of a sudden, I mean, the internet knows what happened And there was some drama and some betrayal and heartbreak, and I had to separate myself from these people. And I had to find my new tribe. And so there's a lot of trials and tribulations starting the third album. It was very emotional. It was hard for me to go into a studio without crying because I felt so alone, but it made me stronger. And I think this happened for a reason because now I'm standing on my own 2 feet stronger than ever. And I'm very grateful for that.
I'm sure that especially in the music industry, it's so hard to navigate and to know who you should trust and who your closest collaborators can be. What was the process like of finding the new people that you ended up producing this album with?
A lot of them are my friends now, but I met them through management, through label. I really feel like it's a vibe, right? When you get in a studio, it needs to be there. That excitement, that conversation. Sometimes we talk for 2 hours before even writing a song, and we start talking. Like, for instance, Loving Myself, I'm just like, at the time, I was just so alone, and I'm just like, I told them I'm just loving myself at the moment. And everybody was like, that's really what we should write about. And I looked at them, I'm like, it's a little weird to write about myself, but then I remembered, I'm like, wait, other people are gonna be singing this about themselves, so this is such an important message, and it's one of my favorite songs now.
It's one of I love that song.
Thank you so much.